Hello, everyone. Welcome to our presentation for the subject Financial Management. Today, our group Mumu Squad is honored to present a financial report on Cholimex Food John Stock Company, leading enterprise in the food industry in Vietnam. But firstly, let me introduce our team member. Yeah. And the first is me. My name is Nguyễn Ngọc Tuệ Mẫn. I'm also the first presenter of my group and the team leader. The next is Hoàng Tâm Đan, my friends Nguyễn Phương Uyên, Lưu Minh Huyền, and the last is Nguyễn Thành Kiên. We have worked hard and closely together to research and analyze the company from both financial and strategic perspectives. And yeah, this is the table of content. Our presentations will be divided into six main parts. Part 1, Introduction to the Cholimex Food. The next part is Competitive Position. The third part is Financial Performance. Non-financial performance is part 4, and number 5 is stock performance. The last is conclusions and recommendations. And now, let's begin with the first part, introduction to the um, Cholimex Food. In this part, we will give an overview of the company, including its history, development, main products, and the market. This will help us understand the background of Cholimex Food before diving into its financial data. The company's head office is located at Street No. 7, Vĩnh Lộc Industrial Zone, Bình Chánh District, and Ho Chi Minh City. Here, and Cholimex Food was established in 1983 and mainly works in the production and business of processed foods and condiments, which are essential and fast-growing sectors. All the contact information is clearly published on their official website, jolimexfood.com.vn. You can see it on the screen. In this website, you can find a lot of information of Cholimex Food. Yeah, let's find out the history and the market position of Cholimex Food when its company began in 1981 as Trúc Nhung joint venture import-export company. From 1983 to 1985, the company focused on exporting raw and frozen foods, accounting for 70% of export revenue. In 1985, Cholimex entered the domestic market with products like chili sauce, which quickly became a signature product thanks to its flavor suited to Vietnamese taste. In 1992, the company imported squid chili grinders, rise capacity to 30,000 bottles per day, and expanded export to the Eastern Europe. In 1999, Cholimex started building a new factory in the Vĩnh Lộc Industrial Park with 4 hectares, and by 2002 fully relocated and adopted ISO 9001 colon 2000 digital system and gained EU export eligibility along with ALAL and KOSHER certification. In 2006, Cholimex became a joint stock company. In 2009, they launched Hương Việt soy sauce, safe from free MCBD, ensuring consumer health. By the 2018, revenue reached 1954 trillion VND, profit rose 75.9%, and products were exported to more 30 countries in the world. Entering Carrefour, Metro, Marks and Spencer, and so on. From the 2018 to 2025, Cholimex aims to be Vietnamese top food manufacturers with a close supply chain, stronger exports, and investment in technology and skilled labor. So, the question is, what are the main products, service, and target market of Cholimex food? And the question in this slide about the products and markets. Since 2006, Cholimex has focused on two main product groups, condiments and sauces, which including chili sauce, ketchup, fish sauce, soy sauce, oyster sauce, satay, and other ready-to-use sauces. And the others are frozen foods such as spring rolls, dumplings, shrimp paste made from local agricultural and seafood ingredients. In the term of quality, Cholimex food meet many international standards such as ISO 9001, uh, 2015, and ISO 22000, BRC B8, HACCP, GMP, SSOP, and all certified HALAL and KOSHER, making them suitable for the Muslim and Jewish markets. Specific products that meet EU export standards include frozen foods with the code is DL62 and the fish sauce with the code NM556. With, with the high standards, modern technology, and traditional flavors, Cholimex food has succeeded in strengthening in the image of Vietnamese food in the international market. The next is, the organizational structure of Cholimex food. You can see at the top is general meeting of the shareholders, followed by the board of directors and supervisory board. The general director managed the company with support from the deputy general director of sales, who oversee the export and import and domestic sales. The other is the Deputy General Director of Production, who manage workshop for seafood, food processing, maintenance, and technical operation. Other departments include HR, finance, and accounting department. They also a secretary to the board directors and a quality representative who ensuring the company meets quality standards. This structure helps Cholimex run smoothly and grow, also manage its business activity efficiently from production to domestic and international sales. This is all the overview of Cholimex food by my presentation, and the next content gonna be shown by my friend Thành Kiên.
Thank you, Tuệ Mẫn, for the introductions. And once again, I'm Nguyễn Kiên, and I'm honored to be here today to present a part of our group financial analysis report on Cholimex Food Choice Stock Company. On behalf of Mumu Squad, I'll be discussing the SWOT analysis and the portal of 5 forces framework to help us better understand the internal capabilities and external challenges that company is facing in the processed food industry. To gain a clear understanding, next slide please. To gain a clear understanding of Cholimex food competitive positions, we can examine its strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. First and foremost, The company enjoys a well-established brand reputation built over more than 40 years, supporting a wide distribution network covering over 80,000 retail points across Vietnam. Its adherence to strict international food safety standards, along with partnerships with major food service chains like Jollibee and Pizza Hut, reinforce both its domestic dominance and export potential. Yes. However, despite these strengths, Cholimex faces several internal challenges. One of the key weaknesses is its relatively low marketing expenditure, which limits brand exposure compared to major competitors such as mass consumer. Additionally, its product strength, well known for quality, remains narrower than that of its rival, and on the company's dependence on domestically sourced raw materials live invulnerable to climate conditions, fluctuating crop yield, and market-wide volatility. Yes. On the other hand, the evolving market offers promising opportunities. Vietnam continent, Vietnam continent and processed food sector is growing rapidly, driven by rising consumer demand for convenience, health-conscious choice, and traceable ingredients. Cholimex is well known for benefit from this trend, particularly through its strategic investment of 850 billion Vietnam dong in the new frozen food factory, signaling long-term planning and capacity expansions. A furthermore active participation in international trade fairs such as Thai Asia enhance the company's global brand presence and open up export opportunities. Yes. Nonetheless, Cholimex must navigate the several external threats, including extended competition from both domestic players like Masan, Namjoon, and Thailand, and international brands that gain advantage from free trade agreements. In addition, market saturation and rapidly shifting consumer require Cholimex to continuously innovate and adapt in order to sustain its competitive edge. To further understand the competitive environment in which Cholimex operates, we can apply Porter 5 force framework. Mở luôn hai cái. Look at the level of industry rivalry is intense, dominated by well-integrated players like Masan Consumer, who benefit from vertical iterations and broad brand portfolio. The market is also filled with regional competitors offering low-cost, alternative or niche products. In this context, Cholimex must continue to different itself total quality, authenticity, and strategic brand positioning in order to stay competitive. Let's look now turning to the trace of substitutes. This fault is relatively high. The food industry is highly dynamic and consumer can easily switch between brands or opt for alternative choice, such as healthier homemade meals or imported products. This variety highlights the importance of continuous product innovation and adaptability. Next. Next, we move to the threat of new entrants. The barrier is considered moderate, although the capital needs to enter the industry is not excessively high. Cholima's long-standing brand reputation and expensive distribution network serve as a formidable obstacle for new players. Without substantial investment in branding and infrastructure, it is difficult for a newcomer to gain market traction. We move to the bargaining power of supplier, which is moderate, although Cholima's food works with a diversified supplier base, the companies still face challenges such as fluctuating agricultural input price and rising logistic costs, which make effective supply chain management essential. And finally, and finally, the the bargaining power of buyers it's become clear that this force is strong. Today's consumers are not only price sensitive but also increasing concerned with product quality, transparency, and ethical sourcing. Additionally, the growing dominance of large retailers and e-commerce platforms give buyers even more leverage, requiring manufacturers like Cholimex to maintain competitive pricing and provide marketing support. To conclude, to con- True, this section highlights the key strategy inside out from our analysis of Cholimex food current positions and future direction within the processed food industry. The processed food industry is currently being significantly influenced by changing consumer habits, the emergence of substitute products, and both domestic and international competitive pressures. Additionally, increasingly strict standards for quality and food safety, along with globalization trends, are also key factors driving change within the sector. With strong brand foundations, internationally recognized quality management system, and a well-known brand investment strategy, Cholimex is also in a solid position to respond to shifting dynamics of the industry. However, to maintain the sustainable growth, the company must enhance its product innovation efforts, invest more aggressively in marketing, and continue expanding its export markets. So let's move to my friend introduce about financial performance.
Thanks, Kiên. Now I will present about the Cholimex Food financial performance during the 2020 to 2024 period. And first, my name is Phương. And then move to the next slide, we will see about financial ratio analysis in 2020. We can see that gross profit margin reached 28.636%, reflecting good cost control in production and operation, and net profit margin was 7.892%, relative high compared to the average in the proposed in food industry. And the last one is ROA, which means return on assets, was 17.662%, showing efficiency of Asia's in generating profit. And can you see that in 2020, Cholimex Foods maintained a solid financial foundation with positive operation performance, evidenced by impressive profitability ratios. And move to next slide, we will see that um, current ratios were 162.687% and quick ratio was 123.745%, and both well above the safety threshold 100%. And next slide, we will see about debt to equity ratios, which called DE, stood at 85.954%, indicating a reasonable level of financial leverage. In summary, this indicator confirmed that Cholimex Food had a healthy financial structure, strong profitability, and a solid platform for future expansion. And next, we will move to asset structure analysis. In 2020, total assets reached over 1 trillion and 11 billion VND, increasing by
16.96% compared to 2019. Short-term assets accounted for 74.211%, up from 67.298% the previous year. Notably, and next, you can see that short-term financial investment made up 42.317% of short-term assets, a significant rise, and long-term assets decline in proportion into 25.789%, with fixed assets comprising 99.019%, mainly supporting production operation, and this indicates a strategic shift toward more liquid assets while continuing to invest in core production facility. Next, we will see that liquidity ratio analysis. As of December 31st, 2020, Cholimex Food demonstrated improved liquidity compared to the previous year. We can see that at the end of 2020, Cholimex Food liquidity significantly improved compared to 2019. This is primarily indicated by an increase in their current ratio, which rose from 1.465 times in 2019 to 1.627 times in 2020. This means that for every 1 unit of short-term liability, Cholimex has 1.627 units of current assets to cover them. And about quick ratio, Cholimex Food quick ratio also saw a significant improvement, rising from 1.025 times at the end of 2019 to 1.465 times in 2020. This ratio specifically measures a company's ability to immediately pay off short-term debts during its most liquid assets, excluding inventory. And this ratio excludes inventory and reflects the ability to meet short-term obligations using only the most liquid assets. And next, we can see that Cholimex Food significantly improved its liquidity in 2020 compared to 2019. This positive trend is clearly demonstrated by the healthy increase in both its current ratio and quick ratio. This strong ratio indicates that the company had a sufficient ability to meet its short-term debt obligation. However, it's crucial for Cholimex Food to continue diligently monitoring and managing its cash flows, as well as its assets and capital structure. This proactive approach is essential to maintain and further enhance liquidity in a potential volatile economic environment, especially considering the ongoing impact of the COVID-19 pandemic as highlighted in their financial report. We can see that cash flow analysis of Cholimex Food in 2020 to 2024. Move to the next slide, we can see that operating cash flow, which means OCF. OCF remained positive throughout the period, rising from 213.97 billion VND in 2020 to 174.61 billion in 2024. This demonstrates a stable and healthy core business. And next we will see about ICF, which means investing cash flow. Investing cash flow was consistently negative, reaching minus 283.97 billion VND in 2024, indicating continued expansion in fixed assets and financial investment. And the last one, we can see that financing cash flow, which means FCF, it was negative in 2020 to 2021 due to the debt repayments and dividend payout, but turned positive in 2022 to 2024 thanks to the increased borrowing and reduced repayment pressure. Overall, Cholimex Food maintain a healthy cash structure, rely minimally on external capital. And next, we can see the table of financial performance and positive of Cholimex Food in 2020 to 2024. Move to the next slide, we can see that revenue increased by nearly 64% from 2,263,000,000,000 in 2020 to 3,721,000,000,000 in 2024. However, ROS, which means net profit margin, declined from 7.89% to 6.721%, indicating that operating or financial costs grew faster than revenue. Similarly, ROA dropped from 17.662% to 13.138%, while uh, ROE declined sharply from 32.844% to 21.215%. Overall, Cholimex Foods maintain a stable financial foundation with a good liquidity and a safe capital structure. However, should focus on controlled. I'm sorry. However, Cholimex Foods should focus on cost control, assess utilization efficiency, and working capital optimization for sustainable future growth. And next, we will see about benchmarking against competitor mass and consumer. In 2022, 2024, Masan ROA reached 27.97% and RE soared to 68.89%. And Masan also maintained a ROS of 25.05%. Next. Meanwhile, Cholimex Foods RA and RE were significantly lower at um, 30.14% and 21.22%. And the ROS of Cholimex Foods is nearly 4 times lower than Masan 6.72%, and this reflects Masan's superior pricing strategies, cost control, and operational efficiency, making it a formidable competitor. And this is the end of and this is my presentation. Thank you for your attention. And next, my friend will present it.
Okay, hello everyone. So let's talk about the non-financial performance. So today I'm really honored to present about this because it is a crucial factor in assessing the company's sustainable growth. And beyond the profitabilities, Cholimex is deeply committed to environmental responsibility, social impact, and transparent governance, forming the foundations of long-term success and stakeholder trust. Okay, we move to the next slide about the environmental performance. So, okay, next. Thank you. So, as environmental concern grow globally, Cholimex has taken proactive steps towards eco-friendly manufacturing, ensuring harmonized between productions and the surrounding ecosystem, such as like the first one is Cholimex has made investment in its wastewater treatment system and incorporating sedimentation tank and anaerobic chambers and microbial bioreactor to purify the wastewater before it is discharged. And thanks to these efforts, the company consistently meets Class B water quality standards set by Vietnamese environmental regulations. And in 2023 alone, the Cholimex allocated over 7 billion Vietnam dong for system upgrades and maintenance. And besides of that, Cholimex has also prioritized green space development within its factories premises, while many companies use a very available square meter for productions. Cholimex has reserved for like over 1,200 square meters of greeny at its Vĩnh Lộc Industrial Park facility, fostering an eco-friendly atmosphere and improving workplace well-being. And furthermore, Cholimex is gradually transitioning from plastic packaging to biodegradable materials, actively reducing plastic waste and contributing to a cleaner, more sustainable environment. And to the next slide, we will talk about the social performance, which is about like Cholimex guiding principle is about the consumer health above all else, ensuring that food safety remains a top priority throughout its entire production process. And the company's products meet strict international safety standards, including ISO 22,000 clones 2018 BRC hollow and kosher quarantine quality control from raw materials to final packagings. And Cholimex also provides stable employment for over 2,000 workers, offer, offering full labor contracts, social benefits, and regular health checkups. An on-site medical facility staffed by trained professionals ensure employees' health and safety. And beyond its internal commitments, Cholimex play an active role in community development. Between 2020 and 2023, the companies contributed for like over 3 billion Vietnam dongs to social initiatives, including support for the underprivileged children, disaster relief effort, and educational scholarships. And these efforts is not only uplift communities but also reflect the company's dedications to corporate social responsibility. And okay, to the next slide, we will talk about the governance performance. And with the philosophy that people at the company's greatest assessed, the board of management places great emphasis on both the material and the spiritual well-being of its employees, fostering a stable and long-term workforce. Effective governance is key to maintaining stability and trust, and Cholimex actively upholds corporate transparency and inclusivity in its management practices. And the company also conducts annual labor conference and maintain collective labor agreements and for like regularly updated to align with new regulations and best practices. and employee representation is reinforced through active trade union participation. So, and occupational health and safety are top priorities as reflected in the company's actions, conducting regular health checks for employees, maintaining an on-site medical room, organizing first aid training for emergency response teams and safety officers. And they are also monitoring the work environment and providing adequate personal protective equipment. Cholimex also organize recreational and travel activities for employees and foster a positive working and learning environment to support skills development and long-term employee retention. And besides of that, Cholimex also emphasize internal training and professional development. In 2023, the company hosted over 30 training sections covering workplace safety, anti-corruption policies, and data security, equipping employees with essential knowledge for ethical and efficient work. And for the last one, next slide, we will talk about the customer and stakeholder evaluations. So, an enterprise true value is reflected in the trust and satisfactions of customer, employees, and partner. From the articles and reviews, I have found some positive feedback of Cholimex Foods Company. So, Cholimex products are rated by customer for their authentic taste, consistent quality, and safe packagings. And employees also value the collaborative workplace cultures, career growth opportunities, and job stability. And about the international distributor, comment about the Cholimex is about its export readiness, transparency in labeling, compliance documentations, and adaptability for two diverse markets. Okay, and the last one is I so Okay, so the Cholimex food had become a household name in Vietnamese kitchens, trusted by both professional chefs and home cooks alike. The company offers competitive salaries, benefit, and positive work environment with a strong corporate cultures with a well-executed marketing strategies. Cholimex has successfully expanded its presence in the US by leveraging the Vietnamese community to build its brand. So, okay, and to know more about the Cholimex Food Company, let's move to the next part. I will leave the present to my friends Lưu Minh Huyền.
Thank you, Tâm Đan, for your presentation. Hi everyone, my name is Lưu Minh Huyền. Now let's examine the performance of Cholimex food stock from 2021 to Q2 of 2025. In 2021, Cholimex food stock price remained mostly flat, trading around 132 VND per share, with trading liquidity nearly negligible since mid-April. The COVID-19 pandemic severely impacted operations, disrupting food production, business activities, and supply chains during long social distancing. Stable revenue was maintained through the domestic distribution. The Q1 of 2021 with post-tax profit reaching 44 billion VND, up 16%, were not enough to drive a stock price increase, as investors wait clear signs of recovery and breakthrough. Meanwhile, in 2021, Masan Group stock was actively traded into the range of 120 to 160 VND per share, reflecting investor about growth potential from Masan Group consumer goods, retail, and mining business. However, toward the end of the year, the stock began to show signs due to concerns about financial efficiency and large-scale investment in its ecosystem. Entering to 2022, Cholimex Foods began to recover its product and restructure export activities, focusing on major markets such as Japan, South Korea, the EU, and CPTPP. As a result, Both revenue and profit in 2022 record slight growth compared to the previous year. However, Cholimex Food was still suitable for a long-term investor, especially those who favor consistent dividends and financial safety, rather than attracting speculative or short-term growth capital. In contrast, Mason Group faced cost pressures and internal restructuring, particularly due to mergers, product line expansion, and investment in an integrated consumer platform. The market's weak, causing Mason Group stock price continue adjusting downward and lose its appeal in the eyes of both institutional and retail investors, gradually lost its growth position in the VN30 index. In 2023, Cholimex Food stock price began a strong upward trend after a long period of sideways movement, rising from around 140 to over 30,000, uh, uh, over 3,000 VND per share. This indicates that the stock started to attract capital from growth-oriented investors, not just those seeking stable dividends in the past. Meanwhile, Masan Group stock continued in sharp decline, falling to around 18,000 VND per share, losing nearly 50% of its value compared to 2021. Despite high revenue, the group faced about the effectiveness of product expansion and multi-sector investment due to low profit margins and inefficient capital use. Entering to the 2024, Cholimex Food continued to maintain net revenue reach more than 3 billion VND, up 9%, and post-tax profit increased by 8%, marking the highest level in the company history and reinforcing 50 consecutive years of profit growth. Its selling price reached 252 VND per share, officially surpassing HLP to become the third most valuable stock on the entire stock exchange, behind only VNZ and V4. The company maintained a strong financial structure with stable performance and a consistent dividend policy, making a Cholimex Food a hybrid stock, both defensive and growth-oriented. Meanwhile, Masan Corporator trade in much lower price range, fluctuating between 70,000 and 82,000 VND per share. Although announced several improvements in its consumer segment and the development of its point of life ecosystem, the market remained cautioned due to actual performance falling short of expectation. At the beginning of 2025, Cholimex Food stock experienced a strong rally, quickly suppressing and closed at 326.7 VND per share, making it the second most valuable stock on the entire Upcom wholesale exchange, secondly only to VNZ. In Q1 2025, the company reported post-tax profit of 49.4 billion VND, up 5.3%, despite a slight 2.5 decline in the net revenue to 123 billion VND. Cholimex Food stock continued to maintain a high cash dividend policy with a payout ratio of 50%, equivalent to 5,000 VND per share, further reinforcing investor confidence. In contrast, by Q1 2025, Masan Group stock continued in sharp decline, falling from around 80,000 to approximately 60,000 VND per share, making it the worst performing stock in the VN30 basket. Interestingly, Masan business shows signs of the improvement. Net revenue increased by 9% and post-tax profit surged by 1.3% compared to the same period last year. However, the stock remained under selling pressure due to ongoing concerns over its complex investment strategy and the lack of transparency in its financial reporting. And that is the stock performance of Cholimex Food, followed by the conclusion and further recommendation presented by my friend Tuệ Mẫn. Um, thank you, Minh Huyền. To conclude, Cholimex Food should focus on the four main areas. First, strengthen marketing and brand development, especially through digital channels and retail partnerships. Second, diversity the product portfolio by adding health-friendly and ready-to-eat options to meet changing consumer needs. Third, expand exports and push global competitiveness by entering new markets and upgrading production standards. Finally, improve the work environment through better employee benefits, training, and welfare policies. With these strategies, Cholimex Food can improve its operation and grow stronger both in Vietnam and international markets. Okay, that's all. Our presentation of my group, and thank you for your listening and watching. Yeah, have a good day.